our active weather that we've been seeing across many areas of the US is not going anywhere. And in fact, it's going to continue across many areas for the next couple of days, maybe even weeks. And I do think as we get towards the middle of the month, we're going to see some sort of pattern change that could take some people by surprise. So we're here to break all of this down in this evening's video. So if you like this video, consider liking the video down below. And of course, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please consider doing that. But lastly, and most importantly to me, please leave a comment down below where you're watching from, and I would greatly appreciate it. So to get started here, I want to kind of show you guys what's going on right now is the time I'm making this video. So we do have a broken line of thunderstorms as we expected, working its way through areas of the southeast, even all the way up into the northeast here. This is losing some steam with time here as it cools down, but all of these storms down here in the deep south have been sporadically severe. We do have severe thunderstorm watches down here in areas of Texas still for the next couple of hours. And then kind of up here, an area I'm watching a little bit more is kind of this broken area of thunderstorms. These could produce some sporadic hail out ahead of the main line, and especially as they work their way east, and this line could produce any scattered wind damage. But moving past that, I do want to show you guys just a brief look at what we might see over the next couple of hours with this severe threat. It's expected to die down pretty soon, though. So let's go over it here. This is just starting off right about now. We have broken storms, broken lines of storms, line segments, clusters, all that good stuff down here in the deep south. Those will continue. And you see this line kind of almost seems to kind of get reorganized. It's very possible that it does so. This is 1:15 a.m. though, Eastern time. So this is really getting into the overnight, and this is much more, especially the further north you get, just rain than it is severe weather. But this area of storms down here in Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama, even the Florida Panhandle, just along the Gulf Coast here, could definitely be producing some sort of severe weather potential. So that moves through, and this is when we're waking up tomorrow. So that could still be producing some possibly damaging wind gusts, embedded tornadoes, and hail as it gets towards Florida, though. Although I don't really expect this to do a whole lot, and that's about all I'm going to show you with this. This is really starting to wind down significantly as we're speaking. So moving past that, I do want to show you guys one thing that I forgot to show you earlier. Our severe outlook for today. This was just issued just a few minutes ago. So I do want to show you this. This is what we've got for today. This is our outlook. We do have a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk going from Tennessee, North Carolina, kind of the southern Appalachians, down all the way to the U.S.-Mexico border here with a level 2 out of 5 slight risk down here just south of San Antonio. It does include Houston, and it goes to the border. So there's a potential here that we see more severe weather, although again, this is winding down. No tornado potential outlined. And then our wind potential, just that 5% risk of seeing winds exceed 55 knots. And then we do have a hail risk down here. This is what's driving the light. With this black shading right here, meaning that these hailstones could reach 2 inches in diameter or larger. So moving past that here, what I was going to show you was our temperature outlooks. It's been a while since we look at these, so I'm going to show you them now. This is our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. And it is picking up on this pattern change, I think, pretty well here. I have not run my drawing tools. I'm going to let it do that. So this is a big deal. This is a big change. We have not seen an outlook look like this in some time now, mainly with just these cooler than average temperatures over here. It's really been predominantly just hot. So this is a big change, really, more than anything. Kind of back to this ridge spike out west and trough digging in the east type of look, and we'll go over that pattern here in a minute. But this is what we've got going on for the next day 6 through 10. So the end of next week, you can do that math right there. It's pretty simple. So the Climate Prediction Center is picking up on this. 8 to 14 days from now, this is interesting to me. We seem kind of locked into this sort of different pattern here. We kind of have this trough anchoring over the east, bringing cooler than average temperatures to the surface. And then we do have what appears to be a very aggressive ridge out west that's just bringing some sort of torch to the southwest. That's what this looks like to me. In the weeks 3 to 4, it doesn't really change a whole lot. We have a lot of neutral temperatures in between these, but still warmer than average out west and cooler than average to near neutral in the east. So very interesting there. And I do want to show you precipitation as well. This is our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. and areas of green are above average. So I do want to note, I'm going to go back to this. If you've got this right here, guys, so you got blue, which means below average temperatures in these areas, and you have above average moisture in the same areas, to me, what that means is we have winter weather potential, and we'll go over that. But there's 6 to 10 days, very dry in the desert Southwest here, and then it continues to do so. So it looks like the desert Southwest, the Southwest areas of the United States, will be very hot and very dry. So it could be a big wildfire potential there. But 8 to 14 days, we're still above average, near neutral to above average in the east. And of course, the Pacific Northwest is almost always above average to some degree, it seems like. And then weeks 3 to 4, we kind of get this weird split where we just have some above average in the central areas of the U.S. and some of this brown indicating below average in the southeast and all this good stuff. This is out there though, so just wanted to show you guys those before we move on. So moving on here, I'm going to show you two models, the GFS and the European. I'm going to try out some different websites here and just do some experimenting. So I'm going to try this one. It's called Aguacero Weather, and I like this one a lot. So we're just going to move on here. These blue lines, these blue dashed lines indicate cold air aloft. So if those are over your area and there's precipitation, it's more of a chance that it's going to fall as something frozen. So this is starting off tomorrow morning. You see all this moisture down here in the deep south. This is just associated with some sort of severe threat. So moving on here, this is getting into a Monday, and this is getting into Tuesday. And then we get towards the 11th and the 12th, and a lot of models for a long time now have been indicating something's going to happen. We have some sort of shield of frozen precipitation. Could even be severe weather down here. Our severe weather threat, guys, we've passed what seemed to be the bulk of it, but the next 2 days, tomorrow and Monday, both have level 1 out of 5 risks. So the only reason I really show you guys those is because I'm just not overly confident that those are going to do a whole lot. But they are there. And I do think Tuesday is another one we're going to have to watch. If they've not already dropped an outlook, they probably will for that. But the system on the 11th and into the 12th does have my eyes. Because watch what it does here. It kind of phases these two pieces of energy. You can see this cold air dropping in behind, denoted by these blue lines here. And we get some sort of winter storm on the northern side. Obviously, this is a lot into Canada, but areas of the Northeast are getting in on this as well. This is getting into the morning of the 12th here. I mean, look at this, guys. You get snow down here along the Appalachian Mountains, pretty far south, northern Georgia. Not final, not a forecast yet, but some models have been hinting at that. So I want to keep that in mind. And there's severe weather to the south of that. Pretty amplified system there. And then it moves on. This is getting into the 13th and the 14th. And there's a bunch of seemingly what look like clipper systems that dive kind of through the central and northern tier of the country that could bring just winter weather chances for those areas. We'll look at snow in a second, totals and all that. But it just looks kind of some sort of battleground seems to be in place here with this cooler than average air up to the north and what could be warmer and moist air to the south. And you get these systems that roll through that bring a lot of moisture because of it. There's another, that's a big one on the GFS. And look at it. I mean, it's bringing snow down to southern Missouri and Arkansas here. So we're not necessarily done with winter, even to areas further to the south. This gets snow all the way down into North Carolina and the southern Appalachians here. This is getting into the 17th. So it's out there. But I mean, look at this system right here. All this snow on the up the I-95 corridor. I'm not saying that we're about to have some sort of blizzard, but it does look like we're going to run the risk of some sort of system like this, maybe even multiple times here. But this is getting out to no man's land. It's 249 hours away. But look at this right here. I mean, we have snow falling in central South Carolina. Do I buy that? Absolutely not. I think that's outrageous because it is. I mean, this is March the 18th. I don't know. I'm assuming there has been times we got snow at this time in South Carolina. Not that I know of, not since I've been alive. But hey, I mean, it's possible. I don't buy it yet. But hey, if we continue to see it, I'll keep you guys up to date on it. I just don't buy it yet. But I mean, that's interesting. It's Clipper dives in behind it, brings snow to North Carolina. It's very weird. This pattern change, pretty significant as well. And then getting out towards the end of this run, some sort of overrunning event, big heavy snow for a lot of areas, northeast. And I mean, so this is the end of the run. Oh, I did not know I could do that. So let's get this back to where it was. That was interesting. But moving on to the European model, I don't know what I just did there. I'm going to show you the same thing. We're going to kind of work through it a little bit faster here. So this is starting off tomorrow morning, all this moisture in the deep south, severe threats and all that good stuff. And we get out towards the 10th and the 11th and the 12th. This is the morning of the 11th, and we can see this snow working in on the backside. I could see this uptrending if this system of moisture, on the moisture side of this, trends to the north. I don't think our cold air is really going anywhere as of now. So if it trends to the north, we could see more winter weather with this. I wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, there's corridors of heavy snow in say Michigan, both the UP and the lower half of Michigan here. A big area of freezing rain to the north as well, and it gets heavy snow into the areas of the Northeast. And this is only only 120 something hours out, so it's not nearly as far. Pretty potent shot of cold air, and then multiple clippers dive. Look at this massive clipper that comes in 192 hours out. This would be the 15th. I mean, this is not what I would consider some sort of final forecast, but I think that our pattern will support these. So I don't think that that's crazy. That's not the word I would use. I think it's a little bit far fetched or unbelievable in the sense that you wouldn't take this as something as gospel, for example, but just keep this in mind. Potential is there for something like this. And then, I mean, this is getting snow. I mean, this is on the 17th, 16th, and the 17th. We have snow in northern Arkansas here. And then some in, even in the northern counties of South Carolina. I mean, just crazy stuff. Clipper dives in after. So both models kind of show that really aggressive diving cold air and bringing with it the potential for frozen precipitation. This is out at the end of the run, so it looks kind of like we have some sort of battleground once again. Rain, lower elevation rain, higher elevation snow out west, and then some sort of big snow event for the Northeast. So let's speak on totals here for a second, just kind of get you guys an idea of what we can be looking at here. So this is the next about 12 days or so, based on the National Blend of Models, pretty reliable thing to look at. And this is total precipitation. So you'll see, as we've been seeing the last several days, this is nothing new. This area down here, with its axis mainly along the Mississippi River, actually pretty well there. We just have more moisture that will fall. I'll zoom into this here in a second, but just a broad corridor here of a lot of moisture. This is including some of what we're getting today, but regardless, there's potential here for flooding, of course. But I think a lot of this will even fall as beneficial rain because none of these totals look outrageous to me. So kind of taking a closer look at these deep south areas, there are areas in say Mississippi, Louisiana here, we're getting 3 to 5 inches of rain between now and the next 12 days or so. So there's a lot of moisture to be had there. And the same goes for snow. I do want to keep speaking on snow here. It kind of has left my mind a few times. I'm sure it's left you guys' mind too, because it's like we're in March and a lot of areas are warm in the United States. And that's true, but I don't think our snow's done yet. I mean, look at the northern plains here. Several inches of snow, even down to Nebraska here. Look at Iowa here, right? I mean, there's 1 to as much as 3 or 4 inches that fall in Iowa. And this is the European ensemble. So this is not some sort of professional graphic showing that this is exactly how much snow or anything like that. But this is a pretty reliable thing to look at. This is through the next 15 days or so. There's just a lot here. But look at the east. This is what has my eyes the most. Obviously, the northeast. You guys are cooking with snow here. I mean, areas of New York could see as much as 16 inches of snow based on this run. And I don't think that that's outrageous at all, considering how many of these systems just reach up there to some degree. But look at the south here. I mean, we along the Appalachians here, we have snow pretty far to the south. There's even somewhat of a signal all the way down to say Tallahassee. I mean, that's really barely a signal, but that tells me that some runs indicated this, and that's just interesting to me. You're seeing these grays and even light blues drop way further to the south than you would expect them to be this time of year. So it does have my eye. And I think that we're not done with snow quite yet. So to speak on our pattern a little bit, kind of explain what's going on here, I'm going to show you a few different things. One of which is going to be this right here. So areas you see in red or even orange here are above average heights in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, which pretty much means we have a ridge that brings higher temperatures, warmer than average temperatures, to the surface. And then areas of blue, like this little bowling ball looking thing down here over the Pacific Ocean, and what's up here to the north are lower heights in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. This is about 18,000 feet up in the sky, and you might be thinking, well, Charlie, how on earth is that going to affect me here at the surface? That's miles above me. And that's true, but I would argue, and because we've already proven it with plenty of research before, that this level is about the best we can get at determining what happens at the surface. So if you have this area of blue, this is really just bringing you colder air, whether that's freezing temperatures or just below average. It's cooler than air surrounding it. Put it that way. So this is starting off tomorrow, and you'll see we kind of have this zonal look where all these black lines. This is pretty much the flow in the atmosphere. So the flow is kind of going like this across this region. Down here, the flow is digging down and then shooting up like that. So there's a lot of zonal flow, which means it goes from west to east and does not change latitude a whole lot. So anyway, moving on here, you'll see how we start to see more blue enter the picture here. These pieces of energy fade a little bit, phase together a little bit. And then we get some sort of more aggressive, consolidated look here. We have a trough digging down to areas much further to the south. And this could open the door for more cold air to enter the picture. And you'll see that one's there. And then it warms back up a little bit. And then we have this thing. This is a very different look here. And this is 246 hours, right about 10 days out, March the 17th. And we have what looks to be a pretty aggressive and expansive trough over the east. This would bring cooler than average temperatures because you can follow these black lines, guys. This is how I like to explain this. They're always going to point you back to where the air is coming from. And that's up to the north, even into the Arctic. That's why it's colder. That's to explain it as easy as I can. That's why. And you can see that we have this ridge out here, and these black lines are pointing out over the Pacific Ocean, bringing that, warm, moist, tropical and subtropical air, which is why it's warmer. So that's how you can explain this. But this is a big pattern flip from what we've been seeing. It's been the opposite of this for several weeks now. So big difference there. But moving past this, this is the 17th, 18th, it kind of sticks around. And I want to note, even at the end of the run, you can follow these black lines. You still have some sort of slight troughing signature right here, which means that we could have kind of just this lingering cold air dropping down with warm air out west. And this backs up. This is the same thing as the Climate Prediction Center's outlook. This matches it very closely to me. So let's look at those temperatures and break them down here. So this is starting off tomorrow morning. And we can see here that, we've got a lot of warmer than average temperatures, even hot temperatures. It reached the mid 80s at my house once again, upstate South Carolina here. That's not normal this time of year, even for the South. But you can see a lot of this red indicating above average, just a lot of it. But let's work out here and get a little bit further. So this is getting into the 10th. You might be thinking, well, didn't you say something was going to happen on the 10th? You see all this red here? Watch how fast things change. You can see this cold air drop down right here, kind of on the back side of this system. So we have some sort of big dividing line. Cold air is filtering down behind this front. It could even be quite cold in areas. And you see the surgence of warm air here out ahead of it. This is what sets those dynamics up for both severe weather and even winter weather on the northern side. So we need to watch for that. But that's there, and it kind of leaves. And then you see all this cold air getting bottled up to the north. And watch what it's able to do as we get towards the middle of the month. It just kind of drops down here, and it just sits here. So the March the 17th. This was the same frame we were looking at a second ago with that big ridge out west, trough in the east. It went kind of like this. This is exactly why. You can kind of follow this cold air comes from up here, and then all of this warm, moist air is coming up like this. And this is exactly what's happening. And we have a lot of, it could even be pretty cold daytime temperatures. We're talking 40s and 50s in Georgia and Alabama, maybe. That's not normal. If you were not aware, that is not what we expect this time of year, especially in the South. But that kind of sticks around to some degree. And even out at the end of the run, a lot of the East is right about neutral to a few degrees above or below average, depending on where you are. But the West here, even the plains, looks warm. This could be setting the stage for, more severe weather chances out in the plains. But I do think that our upper air pattern might be somewhat unfavorable from here on out for severe weather, as we don't have that same setup that provides those low pressures that kind of cut across like this. I think more than anything, we're going to have a lot of ridging, which means our surface lows develop and they're kind of going to drop south like this, or they develop up here and they're going to just kind of go like that. And you can't get severe weather. That's not the most favorable dynamic. So we'll see what happens with that. But all that being said, guys, we got a lot to talk about over the next couple of days, couple of weeks. We're coming back to winter. Winter is trying its best to stay with us, and it might go out with a bang here with several systems. As you can see playing right here, there's a lot of blue that shows up here that's indicated in snow. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm very interested to go along this journey with you guys. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.